Seated in his presence, we just want to call your attention to a couple of verses in John chapter 2, and I'm going to just speak a little bit, and then we will have a session of prayer. Just in case you have been out of the loop for a while, we began to pray corporately as KICC Global on the 1st of December, and we are going to be praying and fasting to 31st of December, apart from Christmas Day. So it's 30 days of prayer and fasting. And so we're going to give some time to pray this morning together. John chapter 2. And by the way, by short sermon this morning, the title is Pray About It. Pray about it. John chapter 2 verse 1 says, on the third day a wedding took place at Cana in Galilee. Now my emphasis is the fact that, you had the couple, and look at the company that they had at this time. Number one, it says Jesus' mother was there. Jesus' mother was there. If you read the text further, you will find out that when they had a problem, it was Jesus' mother they went to, and she interceded for them. She stood in the gap, in the place of prayer. So these guys, in this time of their lives, they associated themselves with intercessors. Those that can touch and agree with them. Bible says that if two of you can touch and agree concerning anything, it will be done for you. So they had in their company intercessors. So as we wait upon the Lord this month, who are the people that you have connected yourself with? Who are the people that you are active chatting with? Who are the people that you are spending your time with? Are those people who will take your matter to the Lord? Or are they only people who will only talk about your matter? They will only gossip about your matter. Who are you connected with at this point in time of your life? They were connected with intercessors. So when they ran into a problem, they turned to their own parents that you were born, who you were born with, who your friends were yesterday. It has to do with the person that you know that person has the capacity to be able to take your matter to the Lord in prayer. Come on, look at your neighbor. Tell your neighbor, pray about it. They were also connected to the disciples. Or rather, Bible says in verse 2, it says Jesus' mother was there. Jesus and his disciples had also been invited to the wedding. Jesus, in this text, and within the context of my teaching, Jesus now happens to be God. For John chapter 1 says, in the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. In verse 14, it says, and he became flesh and dwelt amongst us. So that Jesus that day is God who became flesh and dwelt amongst them. So these people had, within their space and time, they had a connection, a relationship. They had access to Jesus. They had access to Jesus because it's not only good enough for you to have access only to intercessors. Those who have access only to intercessors are people who engage prayer contractors. This is not a season in your life where you will leave your matter only to the prayer points of your pastor. Because there is so little that I can put together in prayer points in a 45-minute prayer session. So little. They had a connection with Jesus. They had their own connection with God. What is your connection with God at this point in time? Are you running to God or you are running away from God? Don't allow the sin of yesterday to make you to run away from God. Don't allow the challenges of your relationship in terms of faith in God to make you to run away from God. Adam ran away from God and missed it. Particularly when you have trespassed, when you have wronged the Lord, it is then the time that you need to pursue him. It is the time that you need to desire him. Don't let the devil play a guilt trip on you. This is the time that you need to move close to God. They also had the disciples. The disciples in this text now symbolizes the church.